China's financial sector repeatedly hit hard, disturbing signals emerge. Everyone is shocked. 8,000 college students compete for 600 coal mine frontline worker positions. Out of control? CCP rarely admits infectious disease crosses Yangtze, approaches Yellow River. Thick smoke erupts from Beijing's Pinggu Expressway tunnel, people abandon cars to flee. Shenzhen real estate woes, 1/10 of homeowners selling, prices halved. China's investment in Europe hits a new low since 2010 last year. It's all covered in today's China Truths. China's financial sector repeatedly hit hard, disturbing signals emerge. China Merchants Bank announced last week that it is determined to eliminate erroneous arguments such as elitism and exceptionalism. Self-media analyst Tan Investment Research explained that, in other words, China Merchants Bank intends to cut salaries. Moreover, private equity funds have also encountered issues, as authorities have now ordered commercial banks not to act as distributors for private funds. Public funds are even worse off, with industry insiders confirming that since 2019, those at public fund companies earning over 3 million yuan annually, about $420,000, were asked to return all their earnings, although the specific timeline and scope of these refunds are yet to be announced. Tan Investment Research stated that more alarmingly, these refunds are not taxed. For example, in 2020, when the market was good, a fund manager earned an annual salary of 8 million yuan, about $1.1 million, and after taxes, they received 4 million, which is 1 million more than the 3 million threshold. But this refund is calculated before taxes, meaning you need to return 5 million yuan, roughly $700,000, instead of 1 million, about $140,000. News also emerged that the CCP's National Audit Office has begun a comprehensive review of all fund companies, officially initiating an anti-corruption storm in the fund industry. Tan Investment Research mentioned that within a week, major Chinese financial institutions were continuously struck hard, making the financial situation truly dire. Over the past year, as the Chinese economy has collapsed, the entire middle class is nearly vanishing. Senior writer Milton Ezrati wrote in Forbes on June 7 that millions of Chinese middle class are falling back into poverty. The article noted that the most telling sign is the recent report by the Ministry of Finance on Beijing's income tax revenue, which showed a 16% decrease in personal income tax revenue in January and February this year compared to the same period last year. The ministry explained that this is because individuals earning less than 100,000 yuan, about $14,000, per year are not required to pay personal income tax, which significantly increases the number of people earning less than 100,000 yuan. Since an annual income of 100,000 is the lowest threshold for the Chinese middle class, this indicates that many middle-class individuals have slid into the lower income bracket. The article also mentioned other signals, such as the steep decline in luxury goods sales in China. Gucci reported that its sales in China this quarter dropped by 20% compared to the same period last year, and Swiss watch exports to China fell by 25% compared to 2023. Another telling statistic is the severe backlog and price drop in used piano inventory, as pianos have always been a status symbol for the Chinese middle class. The severe backlog indicates that many people have been forced to give up piano education for their children. The crisis is not only engulfing the Chinese middle class. Self-media personality Zhai Shanning earlier analyzed that the real estate sector would soon spiral out of control, precipitating the next financial crisis, threatening everyone. In his latest program, Zhai further advised ordinary Chinese to withdraw cash to protect personal assets. He suggested keeping at most a few thousand yuan in the bank, and anything over 10,000 yuan, about $1,400, should definitely be withdrawn. This is because the CCP operates without limits, and should the economy collapse, the CCP will enforce strict control over everyone. For example, if the CCP limits withdrawals to only 500 or 1,000 yuan per day in the future, you will find that no matter how much money you have in the bank, it's unusable, as any money in the bank essentially belongs to the CCP. Everyone is shocked. 8,000 college students compete for 600 coal mine frontline worker positions. After the CCP modified its statistical methods, China's unemployment rate significantly decreased in the first quarter of this year, nearly halving. However, the reality is not optimistic, as 600 recruitment slots for frontline positions in coal mines attracted 8,000 college student applicants. According to a report by Xian Huanghe on June 10, Ningxia Coal Industry Company, Limited, part of the National Energy Group, recently announced a recruitment drive for underground operators with college diplomas and backgrounds in science and engineering. Those hired are required to commit to no less than 5 years at frontline production positions in the coal mines. So far, over 8,000 people have applied, far exceeding the recruitment needs of 600 individuals. College graduates, once dubbed the pride of the skies, now face the prospect of securing a physically demanding, high-risk coal mine frontline operation position, a reality that has left many astonished. However, the report claims this does not indicate a devaluation of academic qualifications. Comments below the report include, if it's not devaluing, then what does it represent? Others say, if you can't get into college, you won't even qualify to mine coal. Nevertheless, some express understanding. What else is there to do? Food delivery is saturated, courier services are saturated, and even ride-sharing is now saturated. The employment situation is severe. Securing a job is an escape and a great reward. Many will flock to it. According to forecasts by the Ministry of Education last year, the number of college graduates in 2024 is expected to reach 11.79 million, an increase of 210,000 from 2023 and 1.03 million from 2022. Unquestionably, college graduate unemployment has become the most urgent issue for the CCP. According to data from the China Academy of Labor and Social Security in November 2023, the number of young people aged 16 to 24 will peak at 161 million in 2033, indicating that the issue of youth unemployment will remain a persistent nightmare for the CCP for the next decade. Out of control? CCP rarely admits infectious disease crosses Yangtze, approaches Yellow River. As the COVID-19 epidemic has not subsided and influenza cases are on the rise, mainland Chinese officials have unusually publicly acknowledged that dengue fever, a typical tropical disease, may be spreading to northern China, having already crossed the Yangtze River and is now approaching the Yellow River, drawing international concern. Liu Qiyong, the chief expert on vector-borne diseases at the China CDC, recently told the Beijing News that the globally prevalent dengue fever this year has exceeded historical levels, and the number of imported cases in China has also surpassed the average of previous years. Liu also noted that dengue fever, originally a typical tropical infectious disease, has spread from the southeastern coast of the mainland inward, westward, and northward, and has already caused a minor outbreak on the north bank of the Yellow River. When asked if dengue fever could reach northern China, he responded, "Indeed, there are such concerns, this trend exists." According to the World Health Organization, WHO, as of April 30, 2024, there have been 7.6 million dengue fever cases worldwide, with 3.4 million confirmed cases, 16,000 severe cases, and over 3,000 deaths. WHO's Global Dengue Monitoring website indicates that mainland China has reported 107 cases of dengue in 2024. WHO also noted that many countries affected by dengue fever lack strong detection and reporting mechanisms, so the true global burden of dengue fever is underestimated. Moreover, it's worth mentioning that prior to the major outbreak of COVID-19 in mainland China in 2020, data on dengue fever was released, with official reports in May 2019 indicating 453 cases reported across 23 provinces, primarily in southern provinces like Guangdong, Zhejiang, and Yunnan. However, after the outbreak of COVID-19, dengue fever seemed to be replaced, with hardly any related data visible. Dr. Lin Xiaoxu, an American virologist and former director of the viral department at the U.S. Army Research Institute, has pointed out that it is difficult for the outside world to grasp the situation of dengue fever in China because the authorities have always concealed epidemics, with no real data available. He also noted that because there is no suitable vaccine for dengue fever, there are currently no particularly effective treatments or targeted prevention and treatment plans. The rare official acknowledgement of dengue fever in China suggests that this infectious disease may have long been out of control, and the public will once again face greater challenges. Thick smoke erupts from Beijing's Pinggu Expressway tunnel. People abandon cars to flee. On June 10th, an ex-user Li Ming posted a video stating that at noon on June 9th, a large fire ignited inside a Beijing expressway tunnel. The accident occurred in the Dalinghao tunnel of the S32 Beijing-Pinggu Expressway in Beijing. Thick smoke was seen spewing from the tunnel, with many just having escaped, struggling with the smoke and continuously rubbing their eyes. The video shows crackling sounds coming from the tunnel, with thick smoke pouring out of the tunnel entrance and enveloping half the sky. Many people, including those carrying children and pets, fled through the dense smoke. They stood on the greenbelt, some coughing as if choked by the smoke, while multiple vehicles congested the tunnel entrance. A woman staying outside the tunnel said, "Can't see anymore, oh my gosh. Oh my heavens, such thick smoke." A man commented, "This is the Dalinghao tunnel at the Beijing-Tianjin border. There's a fire in the tunnel. The vehicles inside are on fire. It's over, everyone's run out, even the cars are turning around. It's over, the fire is getting bigger." Only a 7-second video remains on the mainland's short video platform Douyin. According to a June 9th post by the Inner Mongolia Business Daily's Douyin account, China's Ministry of Transport Monitoring and Emergency Response Center reported that an accident occurred inside the Dalinghao tunnel of the S32 Beijing-Pinggu Expressway in Beijing at 12:50 p.m. on June 9th, with the time to resume traffic still undetermined. The site had heavy smoke, and witnesses reported many cars turning around and driving in the opposite direction. In the comments section of the video, a Guizhou netizen said, "Why didn't I see any specific reports?" A Jiangsu netizen said, "When an accident happens, they just hide it, and I guess this will be deleted soon." It is worth mentioning that the following Weibo content and Tencent video content related to the Dalinghao tunnel of the Beijing-Pinggu Expressway have been deleted. Public records show that the Dalinghao tunnel is a pair of tunnels built through a mountain at the Beijing-Tianjin border, mainly connecting the Beijing-Pinggu Expressway and the Tianjin-Jinji Highway. Shenzhen real estate woes, 1/10 of homeowners selling, prices halved. On June 10th, it was revealed online that nearly 1/10 of Shenzhen homeowners are selling their properties, with some developments experiencing price drops of over half. A Shenzhen netizen named Jiayu posted a video saying, "It seems like overnight the direction of Shenzhen's real estate market has completely changed. It feels like everyone in Shenzhen is selling their homes, and many homeowners would rather lose their down payment just to sell their houses." She stated that in large communities such as Taoyuanju in Baoan District and Yufangcheng in Longhua District, sometimes more than 30 properties are listed for sale in a single day. Currently, there are over 100,000 second-hand homes listed for sale in Shenzhen, not including foreclosure properties. She exclaimed, "It's almost like 1 in every 10 Shenzhen homeowners is selling their home. I want to ask, in the current environment in Shenzhen, where are there so many people buying houses?" She mentioned that previously, whoever owned more houses was considered wealthy, but now those with multiple properties are the biggest losers. Jiayu revealed that because they can't sell, many people choose to default and abandon their properties, with these communities seeing several foreclosure properties added each month. Once converted to foreclosure properties, the price is further reduced to 70% or even 56% of the current price, almost a half-price fire sale. An article on June 9th by the mainland portal website NetEase disclosed that the number of second-hand homes for sale in Shenzhen's Nanshan district reached 7,919 entering June. The article mentioned that landlords in Shenzhen's real estate market dream of returning to the housing prices of 2021. At that time, prices in Nanshan district reached 120,000 yuan, about $16,600 per square meter, in Baoan district 82,000 yuan, about $11,300, and in Longhua district 77,000 yuan, about $10,600. Then, prices in Nanshan district were higher than those in Beijing's Xicheng district and Shanghai's Huangpu district during the same period. After that, Shenzhen's real estate market faced setbacks. Wen Zhao, a scholar residing in Canada and a famous self-media personality, predicted last year that among the four major Chinese first-tier cities of Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, Shenzhen's real estate market might be the first to collapse. He pointed out that Shenzhen's problem is that its housing prices are much higher than those of neighboring Guangzhou. In 2022, the average price of traded properties in Shenzhen was 60% to 70% higher than in Guangzhou. Shenzhen's living costs are too high, yet the city's advantages are diminishing. Initially, the CCP's senior leaders wanted Shenzhen to take over from Hong Kong as a financial center, but Shenzhen could not compete with Singapore. Domestically speaking, Shenzhen's status as a financial center is also inferior to Shanghai. As a shipping center, Shenzhen Port ranks behind Shanghai Port and Ningbo Port, especially as China's foreign trade cooled off. The related industry's high net worth population in Shenzhen also shrank. In terms of population and economic scale, Shenzhen is behind Beijing and Shanghai. Its market size is small and lacks resilience. Hence, it's understandable that Shenzhen's housing prices could not hold up among the first-tier cities. He also stated, the fact that Shenzhen, one of China's most resilient first-tier cities, is seeing price reductions of 30% to 50% is terrifying. If this trend continues, it could be worse than the situation of Japan's real estate bubble in the 1990s. China's investment in Europe hits a new low since 2010 last year. According to the latest report released on June 6 by the Mercator Institute for China Studies, Merix, and Rhodium Group, the CCP's direct investment in Europe last year was only €6.8 billion, down €300 million from the previous year, marking a new low since 2010. The report shows that the peak of CCP's direct investment in Europe, 27 EU countries and the UK, was €47.5 billion in 2016, which has since declined. Before the pandemic in 2019, the investment dropped to €14.2 billion, and last year it was only €6.8 billion, less than 15% of the peak level. In the past, CCP investments were mainly concentrated in the three major economies of the UK, France, and Germany. In the last 2 years, due to Hungary's pro-China stance, 44% of the CCP's direct investments in Europe went to Hungary, which is more than the combined total of 35% in Germany, France, and the UK. The report also notes that the proportion of CCP's investment in the European electric vehicle sector increased from 41% in 2022 to 69% in 2023. Furthermore, BYD, a leading Chinese electric vehicle company, has announced that it will set up a factory in Hungary by 2026. With the EU set to impose anti-subsidy punitive tariffs on imports of electric vehicles from China, this trend of Chinese direct investment in European factories, with Hungary as the core base, is expected to continue. The report also highlights that other industries, such as Europe's health industry, consumer goods, entertainment, and information and communication technology (ICT), continue to attract Chinese capital, with an average of €3 billion captured annually in Chinese FDI from 2021 to 2023. The report mentions that the downward trend in China's direct investment in Europe is expected to slow due to investments related to electric vehicles, but a significant rebound is unlikely. With weakening finances of Chinese enterprises, increased control by European countries over Chinese capital, and the tension in China-Europe trade relations forcing Chinese companies to reassess their market opportunities in Europe, Chinese investment in Europe is expected to remain subdued. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.